We are overflowing with talent right now. I think we can end up fawning all over him. Okay, we get it. You're handsome. You play.
Mic check, 1, 2 to the 3. Tell me who the illest on the MIC.
I feel like I'm out of sync all the time, so might as well.
We've survived Bubble. We've survived Horngate. I mean, what else?
Mic check, 1, 2 to the 3. Tell me who the illest on the MIC.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chirp. The Bolts are moving on to the semifinals, round 3. It sounds less impressive, but we're moving on to the next round.
What, semifinals isn't good. It's the final four. Let's call it that.
Yeah, the final four. I like that better.
Yeah.
Welcome back. My name is JPW, joined here with Seth. And we have a special guest on today. We are very excited. We have the one, the only, the hypest man in the building when the Lightning score. Dave Mishkin is here with us today. How's it going, Dave? First of all, I have got to ask you, you've been calling the Lightning for years and years. How did you get the gig? I mean, that's a pretty cool gig you got going on.
Yeah, the gigs don't come open very often there, but the Lightning gig did open. I was in the minor leagues for 11 years.
Oh.
So I had accumulated about 1,000 games of experience before I called my first NHL game. And I had applied for a fair number of other NHL jobs and swung and missed because there are a lot of people who are applying for very few jobs. And usually the pool is narrowed. Like if you're in the top minor league, as I was at the time, the American Hockey League. Okay, so maybe they're looking at the AHL or maybe around the NHL to fill an open spot. But you're still looking at 45 to 50 qualified candidates for one open position. So Jay Feaster was the general manager at the time with the Lightning, and he hired me for my previous job in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where I was working. He was the general manager of the Hershey Bears when he hired me 8 years earlier, and 8 years later, he was the GM of the Lightning and called me and said, we have an opening, get your stuff down here. And that certainly helped. But ultimately, the demo is what gets you in the door. And then hopefully you get to stay there based on the work that you do for the team. But the stars were aligned for me, fortunately, back in 2002.
And Dave, we're glad that they were, and obviously happy that you're here. Do you miss, with things opening back up now, do you miss being out on the road in opposing arenas calling games? Are you happy calling the games right inside Amalie Arena?
Well, from a calling the game standpoint, Seth, it is better to be in the building rather than calling it off a monitor because invariably there are things that you miss. The camera is showing you what the camera is showing you, and anything the camera is not showing you, your guess is as good as mine. Whereas if you're in the building, you can look wherever you want. You can see if a guy is going back to the locker room or something happens behind the play or the referee is doing something that might be off camera. But I said this last year in the bubble, given the choice, I would rather call games off a monitor than not call games. So this is the world that we're in. Slowly things are opening back up. But as it stands right now, we're still calling games off a monitor. We are not allowed to travel with the team. I understand that. That's part of the protocols they put in place and have maintained through this very unusual season. But it's the next best thing. I'm still getting to do my job and do something I love. And now I've had a fair amount of practice calling games off a monitor too. Not that it makes it any easier, but at least it's not the first time out of the box doing it, for like game 4 of a playoff series or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously you've had a lot of amazing goal calls on a monitor in person. Do you have a favorite moment that you've had the honor to call?
Well, a lot of memorable moments, certainly during the 2 Stanley Cup runs for the Lightning. There are a lot of memorable moments even in years that didn't end in a Stanley Cup championship, which is a good reminder to kind of enjoy the journey. I mean, the Lightning had some really memorable playoff wins in 2011 and 2015, 2016, 2018. I know those years did not end in a Stanley Cup championship, but great moments. But certainly there's no substitute for winning the Stanley Cup. So those series and the runs that the team had in 2004 and in 2020 were certainly right up there and very special. Marty St. Louis' double overtime goal in Calgary in Game 6, probably still the biggest goal in franchise history, in my opinion, just because if Calgary scores, there's no Stanley Cup. Like, the series is over. The season is over. The 2020 team was really remarkable. They never faced elimination during that whole run. They had a lot of overtime games and a lot of tense moments and some really hard-fought series. But St. Louis' double overtime goal saved that season for the Lightning and extended the series so they could win the Cup back in Tampa 2 nights later. I remember all the overtime goals the Lightning scored in 2020, particularly the ones that ended series, and the 5 overtime game that Braden Point scored in the Columbus series. He also scored to end the series in Game 5. Hedman scored to end the series against Boston in the second round. And Anthony Cirelli had a really memorable goal to get the Lightning to the Stanley Cup final against the Islanders. So those are a few off the top of my head. But I think it's a good reminder that, these playoff runs don't come around very often. So when you're in it and along for the ride, try and enjoy it as much as you can.
All right, so like JP said, you've had a lot of great goal calls. You're known for your goal calls. Mishkin's mic, it's taking the internet and the Lightning social media by storm. People are retweeting it, sharing it all over the place. Do you enjoy watching yourself call goals because it's kind of a new thing? Does that camera bother you at all? Or is it just something where you're just like, I don't want any part of having to watch myself call a game?
Well, look, I think a lot of people hate hearing their voice. Back when we had answering machines, and no, I don't want to hear my voice. If you're in broadcasting, you need to get over that pretty quickly. So no, I don't mind the seeing myself. I've never seen myself before. Nobody had ever put a camera on me before the beginning of last season. And a little backstory on it: Gabe Marte, who's videographer extraordinaire for the Lightning, and people may not know his name or know him to see him, but a lot of this content that is available through the Lightning involving video, he has his fingerprints on. He's either shooting it, he's editing it, he's on the road with the team. He does some great work. So the beginning of the 1920 season, the regular season before the pandemic, Gabe came to me and said, they do this feature in the NFL where they have a microphone on the play-by-play announcer, the radio announcer in the NFL, because that's the team announcer. In the NFL, television is all national. And they do a split screen afterward of the play, but they also show the announcer calling the play. He said, would you be opposed if I set up a camera? I said, no, not at all. So they started this pre-pandemic, and they ran, I don't know, about 8 or 9 of them before the season paused. But then when we re-upped in the bubble, he set up the camera in our little room in the basement of Amalie Arena, and that's where all those playoff clips came from. And then, of course, he's continued to this year. So I can't really take any – I don't know that I want to take any credit for it because I really have little to do with it other than doing what I normally do. It was his brainchild, and he's put all of these features together. But to answer your question, Seth, no, I don't mind the features. I don't mind seeing myself. I think if you're bothered by that kind of stuff, you're probably in the wrong line of work.
Okay, good, because we want more Mishkin. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't opposed to more Mishkin. That's the campaign I'm going for. Dave, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. I know a lot of people enjoy just turning the games down and listening to you and Phil or whoever is with you for the evening, and I'm sure that's a great compliment. So looking forward to listening to you for 8 more wins here, man, and let's go back to back. Thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good one.
That'd be great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. Well, that is it. Dave Mishkin in the house. What an honor to have him on. We've got some highlights coming up from the last game that push us on into the Final Four, presented by Enterprise. Here we go. I mean, I can't wait to watch these. Personally.
I mean, Final Four does sound better than semifinals, right?
I agree. Final Four just sounds way more impactful. I'm excited about it. We're going to start off with a save today.
Which one?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Which one? The best of the night, I would say, for Vasilevsky. Just robbing Trocheck there. I mean, this is a goal 10 out of 10 times, I feel, on any other goaltender. But the way he just pushes across, gets enough on it.
He made everything look easy last night, and I know that Rod Brindamore, the coach of Carolina, he had kind of an extended conversation with Vazzy at the end, and I saw Joe Smith put it out there, and he just said, listen, this is some incredible stuff that you're doing, and we had chances, and you were in the right position to stop all of them.
Yeah, again, like, the positioning here is insane. I mean, again, the way he pushes across so powerfully and just robs them there.
After Vazzy had that a shaky second period of what I'm losing track of all the games, but yeah,
Game 3 or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
and then look, shows up and then posts a shutout. That's just what's gonna happen. So
and yeah, this is again a huge shutout for the Lightning, a big goal. We've got some other highlights coming up here soon as well, and
we can talk about Vazzy all day and all night
because he's done so many great things and he continues to be a star for us.
And we just
want to
hop on his back and ride him to the promised land.
8 more times this season.
Halfway. I mean, it's
halfway there.
It's unbelievable.
Right. We have another goal here by the one, the only. Braden Point has just been a monster out there in the playoffs. I mean,
I believe playoff pointer was created in a lab. Obviously, one of the fastest players, one of the best players out there on the ice during the regular season. But playoff pointer, he turns it up a level. People always go, "Oh, can the Lightning turn it on? Can these guys?" He's doing something because he's playing on another level.
He is. When he scored this goal, we were at the watch party. I turned over to Pat and I was just like, "Oh!" Like I couldn't believe the patience there. Like you have so much pressure on you in that situation, just to like rip it right away. But he's like, "No, I'm gonna take some extra time with them. I'm gonna slow it down, play to my speed." And just tucks it in on the backhand, roofs it.
And then what happens? Right back to the iPad, right back there to see what else is going on.
What can I do better next time? Always looking to improve, that pointer is. And we have another goal here, and this ultimately was the nail in the coffin for the Hurricanes, as you were very close. We'll talk about it later, but Ross the Boss.
I love it. This is...
I mean, what can you say? It's just a good goal. I mean, a big-time goal for Ross Colton. First time playing in the playoffs. I mean, what a story that is.
In that line with Maroon, they had so many chances last night. They were buzzing. Hey, people, you have a lot of Tyler Johnson tweets to delete after that performance that he's had in the
clear him out.
Yeah, please. We won't hold it against you. Delete Tyler Johnson. Get those tweets out of there. He showed up last night. That fourth line showed up big, and it was good to see them score. And, I mean, even if they don't chip in any more goals the rest of the playoffs, they do their job when they're out there on the ice.
They do. I mean, they're just really... I always see them in the offensive zone, too. They just find a way to get it down there. Maroon behind the net does what he does, and Johnson's been flying out there. So
he really has, yeah. And by the way, coming up, if you're a Pat Maroon fan, we're not coming up this show, but we believe this upcoming series, Patty Maroon, Pat Maroon's mom is going to join us, okay? And who knows, Pat Maroon's brother followed me on Twitter, too. He might be next. If you love the Maroon family, I've been texting with them a little bit. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. So that's coming up. We got a lot, and other big guests that we're working on.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see Patty on the show. That'll be amazing. We got to recap a little bit.
Okay.
Our predictions from the last series. Now, technically, neither of us were right.
Right. Which is,
that's fine.
That's par for the course.
Yeah, I mean, the only prediction we've ever gotten right on the show is I said that Mrazek was going to be a net, but that wasn't even an official prediction. That was just me guessing.
We've really nailed nothing, and we're actually really trying at this point to get some predictions.
So I said that Cirelli was going to score 3 goals this series.
He had 1.
Didn't happen. He did score 1. He played great defensively. Didn't score 3. We moved on. I'll be wrong all predictions forever.
Yeah,
go ahead and
that's
win.
fine. And then I was sensing Ross the Boss to tell all your dumb friends that he was going to have a game-winning goal. It didn't happen.
But how close were you?
I was rooting for the Panthers to score again last night, so then Ross Colt would have had the game winner, okay? I wanted to be right. That's how badly I wanted it. But like our producer, Young Bushman, told me, you know what? It was the last goal of the series, so that's got to mean something. And you know what? It doesn't mean anything to me. It should mean something to Ross Colton. Almost DM'd him on Instagram and told him good job, but I held back. So, yeah, we love Ross the Boss on this show. We
love Bushman
but we're not making any predictions right now. We're going to make the predictions coming up.
Yeah, we're saving those for the next show because we want to, first of all, know who we're playing, which we're about to get into kind of some talking points there. So kind of going into that, out of Boston and the Islanders, who would you pick?
I would probably go with, I think the Islanders are a better team. I think the Islanders were the toughest team the Lightning played in the playoffs last year. So I would say that I want to play Boston because I think that they might be easier. Their perfection line or their second line doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I think that the Lightning would have a little wee easier time with Boston.
I second that. I do think that the Lightning are going to be able to shut down those first 2 lines, and I think it'll be an easier ride, whereas the Islanders are very good at shutting down an entire team. So if we can prevent that, that'd be great for us. Obviously, a big game for them coming up tonight. So, I mean...
By the way, Pat Maroon's mom, you're not getting this scoop, Joe Smith. She does not want to play Boston, does not like their fans. She told me today doesn't want the Bruins whatsoever. Only going to hear that right here on the Chirp. Blair Driscoll calling it the ECF final with special guests, Vegas and Colorado. Okay, yeah, I don't know what we're calling it, but all I know is the Bolts keep advancing, and that's what we're here for. So, yeah, so you want them to play Boston as well.
I do second the Boston, I do want to mention something, though. At the end of the series against the Canes.
Okay.
We did give the Caniacs a lot of flack
Oh,
for the
you
name.
said it. You said it.
I'm gonna say it because we gave them a lot of flack. But at the end of the series, the handshake line, the team just got shut out in an elimination game.
Yes.
It would be very easy for fans to just boo the team, walk out the door. But while the handshakes were going on, they all rallied together. They were going to Let's Go Canes. So I want to give some credit there.
We're giving them credit for cheering on their team for the last time they're going to see them this season.
Yes, because most fan bases would have just absolutely walked out the door.
I'm not giving their fan base any credit because they tried to do the wave last night, and that's embarrassing.
I cannot.
That is humiliating, really, in any sport these days, even Little League. It's humiliating to do in a Stanley Cup playoff game that you're losing in. I mean, just please. I mean, I hope somebody shut that down. And I hope that you were kicked out of an arena like people are when they throw things at the athletes. Like I can't give
feisty Seth today on the chair.
I'm not the wave. I mean, just come on during the most exciting playoffs in sports, and these people are doing the wave. I like the way the Canes played the whole series. They had a couple of guys come back last night. They played tough. I like their coach.
They played clean.
They did,
as well, and I gotta respect that.
They played hockey. They played hockey, and so I appreciate that. But their fans get absolutely no credit. And
my series has been activated.
Oh my God,
sure thing.
Their fans get. We also hold on. Sorry, JP's watch is going crazy. Vasilevsky now has 3 consecutive shutouts and closeout games.
Yes, he does, and 3 times. This is a huge shutout for him, and he does it 3 times in a row in elimination games.
So it happened last night. It happened, I know, against Dallas to win.
Yes,
and then
must have been. Did it happen against the Panthers?
Panther? Okay, yeah.
I think it was. I can't remember. We may be wrong in that. No credibility on here, but yeah, 3 times in elimination games.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm a huge Lightning fan, but for the last 5 years, it's been like one long playoff run. Okay, the Stanley Cup stands out, but really, I have a hard time like trying to figure out all these series.
Well, especially because it was a shortened year this year. I mean, it felt like we just got out of the playoffs when the season started right again. We're already back in the playoffs halfway through as well.
And we are rooting for 7 games, obviously, so we do want Boston to win tonight.
We do need Boston to win tonight if it's going to go to 7, yes.
Okay, and are there any rumors? I haven't read anything. Any rumors on when we might see a game 1? That's what the people want to know.
I have literally no idea, but if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's going to be sometime maybe over the late weekend, maybe a Sunday, maybe early next week, maybe a Monday. We'll see. It depends on if it goes to 7, I guess.
I'm free. That works for me.
Hey, I'm free too. I'm just excited to be here. Let's get it going. You know, whoever the Lightning are playing, honestly doesn't matter because they're going to have to beat everybody anyways. So I'm excited.
Well, and we had news come out, I don't know, yesterday, today. I'm not sure about Victor Hedman.
Ooh, Norris finalist again.
It's good. They're getting close. It might be time to just name a trophy after Hedman. I think we're getting to that point. So yeah. Hopefully he brings. I know we don't get too caught up in individual accolades at this time of year, but we're all happy for Hetty, and hopefully he brings that home.
Yep, I think he has a very good chance. He obviously had a very good year, so we'll see what happens there on that front.
I think that's it. So we're excited. The Bolts just handling business. We're handling business. We're working on some big shows for you guys. Next round, Final Four, we'll be on potentially
game days. It'll be game days.
Game days.
Round.
We'll be here with
pre and post.
Big guests, Pat Maroon's mom, other people. Maybe even tell us who you want. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, feel free. We're obviously always looking for people to add on the show.
We really are.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. See ya on game 1.
Whatever that is. We are overflowing with talent right now. I think we can end up fawning all over them. Okay, we get it. Your hands, let me play.
Mic check 1, 2 to the 3. Tell me who the illest on the MIC.
I feel like I'm out of sync all the time, so might as well.
We've survived Bubble. We've survived Horngate. I mean, what else?